it's my pleasure to introduce to my audience here, what an audience it is, Matt and his stepson Blake. Now, we met up here on Chrisney Lake, done a little fishing, and we're doing the introduction here at the end. And Mr. Blake kind of wore us out because, like today, I came out here. I planned on fishing with a Fluke and a 2-bait, and then I lucked onto these guys were out here, so they joined me. And you were fishing with what?
A hollow body grass frog.
A hollow body grass frog. And how many did you catch on that?
I got 1 bite.
One. Which really surprised me because this lake is covered in grass, and it had the lily pads back there, and you would have thought, surely throwing in them lily pads, that you'd have had a blow up. You know,
Yeah, you would have thought.
And I pulled in one, although I'd done one of those quick releases right there at the boat, right? And Mr. Blake, what did you tie on?
I tied on a crankbait.
A shallow diving crankbait?
Yeah.
I believe it was that, I don't know if it was a true Kevin Van Dam color, but it was kind of that Kevin Van Dam color, that white and blue.
Yeah, like a blackish and a yellow and light blue running down the sides.
Yeah, it's a good color to it, and he pretty much wore us out today. Throw it like we're throwing towards the bank, like good fishermen do. We're fishing all that grass, and our young man here, he just throws behind the boat like young guys tend to do. And what'd you get? 3 and missed a couple?
3 and I missed like 1 or 2.
Missed 1 or 2. Got 1. Let's see what we got. Pull it up here. See, there you go. Hold it up higher. There we go. Nice little Chrisney Lake 10-inch basser. Now he done got us way off our spot.
Caught him up there.
So Blake, when's the best time to fish?
Whenever you can go.
Now,
All
you
right.
mentioned that you just started fishing heavily this year. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you said you caught your personal best this year?
Hmm?
What was your personal best?
I don't know, maybe.
A bass about 15 inches or so?
Yeah.
I think we can beat that here any time now, right?
Yeah.
But that's still a nice fish for a young man. That's a good place to start. I think that was my personal best probably for a long time. Probably caught it when I was 12 years old down there on Drexboro Lake, I gotta imagine.
There we go.
See?
Yes, with this camera.
There we go.
I guess someone's going to take out here to show you how to fish again. Oh, it's okay. I'll put it on.
Anyway, the guy that lived there, he married this girl and she had a kid probably about his age or a little younger, and his dad had just passed away, you know, a year or so. Kid loved to fish, so I took him out here fishing, and he said, you know, he'd only ever use plastic lures, right? I said, well, we'll get out here and we'll do some topwater fishing, which at the time the grass wasn't near as bad. So we're out there fishing in that bay over there, and I'm telling them, I said, you know, you want to, like when you're topwater fishing like that and you're stuck on a bank, you know, you want to fan cast. You know, you want to aggravate all them fish in the area, let them know where it's at, and kind of cast in such a manner that it's almost predictable, you know, where if they're wanting to hit it, they're going to know where to find it. And he ended up casting, and he's like, oh, because I told him where to cast, and he, of course, he miscast, which is no big deal, but when you're a kid like that, you're always kind of hard on yourself, right? He's like, oh, here, I'll reel it in and cast over there again. I said, no, just leave it there. I said, give it like 2 pops, and then let it sit, and that's usually when the fish bite. As soon as I said the word bite, that's when the fish jumped up and hit it. I said, that was my greatest bit of teaching ever. I said, that kid, anytime I talk about fishing, he listened like, you know, like it was freaking gospel after that. So, how many times you taken fishing this year?
We've been about past 2 weeks, 5 or 6 times.
Almost every day, right? Every day you can go.
Maybe 8.
Maybe 8. When my Now when my Uncle Mike, I had my Uncle Mike worked with me at MPW. You know, we done draws. Mike done a little bit of traveling. Then he'd work draws. And we had this habit of on every single one of our 4 days off, because you know you work draws, you do that 4 on and 4 off, right?
Oh, yeah.
Every single one of our days off, we would end up fishing, and a lot of times we would fish in the morning, and then we would come back to the house and have lunch or whatever, and then we would go Scales Lake or the river or someplace and fish all night. And we got so much of that in, and when you're doing that, you tend to. I'd mentioned earlier that I hadn't fished like. Before this past year, I'd fished very little for a couple of years, which we had, you know, we were watching my niece a lot, and we were doing, you know, she was doing cheer, and instead of fishing, we were doing cheer stuff. And, right, nothing wrong with that. They're only that little once, you know. You might as well enjoy it. But when you get to go fishing every day like that, and every day, you just start seeing things on the water that you don't see if you're not doing it.
A few days ago, we saw some jumping fish at this lake that we went to. It was funny.
Love jumping fish. Man, you ever get a chance to go salmon fishing up in them creeks outside Chicago? Holy cow, man, fish jumping like that big. It is, yeah, it is awesome. You could probably look up some videos of it on YouTube, you know, jumping salmon or whatever. They're pretty awesome. So you got your TikTok channel?
Yes.
Good to see you. So what do you do on your TikTok channel?
Mainly video games.
What video games do you play?
Warzone, Rocket League, and sometimes GTA.
I know a lot of people like that that Rocket League. Of course, you know, Warzone, anything like that's going to be very popular.
Yes.
And I play a little bit of GTA. You Xbox or PS?
PS4 and Xbox.
PS4. Yeah, I got an Xbox.
I got an Xbox One at my dad's house.
Nice. I got to where I was playing that Grand Theft Auto so much I figured it was ruining my life. Which, you know, you start playing in the. I'd had that knee surgery, so I wasn't able to do a whole lot to start with.
Really, any video games ruin my life.
Do what?
I really like fishing. It's just whenever I played GTA and all those games a lot, I didn't go fishing.
My dad had said, let's see. I was in 4th grade in 1984. So that was, Nintendo had probably been out a year or two at that point. I don't know what year it started, but I think that was the first year I got my Nintendo. And at that time, you know, you could still go out and in my neighborhood, you could still go out and play basketball about any time, you know, get a small group of kids together. Although I did grow up in a small town, we wasn't exactly getting enough kids together to put on like full-on baseball teams. But then the Nintendo came out and kids stopped playing outside. And like I remember as I was getting older, everybody complaining about that sort of thing. You know, like, kids need to be outside more, you know, they don't need to be doing this and that. My dad had theorized that the reason that that was so popular is them moms liked it because they knew where their kids were at, and their kids weren't out getting their arms and legs broke like you do when you're out playing in the neighborhood. When you're staying at home playing video games, nobody's at home, you know, you're not out breaking the neighbors' windows. And so he did see a good thing to it. But I also think that's a lot of where we ran into. I think we just have a hard time getting along with other people a lot of times because of, you know, just not interacting with people like that a lot. My bad, I didn't mean to cast over you.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah. That's a lot of it these days.
Now moving forward, do you have any fishing goals for the rest of the year?
To catch bigger fish.
Catch a bigger fish. What about you, Matt?
Make sure he catches a bigger fish.
Now, okay, you say to make sure he catches a bigger fish. If you were going to give him or any young person a piece of advice on how to go about catching a bigger fish, what would that be?
Stick to it.
Stick to it.
I mean, because it's not gonna happen overnight.
I like it. So along that same line of thinking, I would think that you guys would know, and the piece of advice that I would always give right along that same line is, when's the best time to go fishing?
Anytime you can go.
That's right. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah.
That was good. You've done a great job. Appreciate you all, Mark.